My name is Riya Loveguard, and in this transmission, I'm going to talk to you about light languages, and specifically not just how to activate them, but how to actually utilize them as a tool for transformation and as a tool to develop spiritually, personally, but also to help your clients and to help within your normal everyday life and within your business. So we're not going to cover just what light languages are, but we're actually going to cover how you can use specific light languages for specific purposes to channel powerful consciousness technology. So basically, let's start with what light languages are. So light languages are languages of different galactic light beings, or sometimes of civilizations that were here on Earth. And you cannot learn them the way you go to school and you learn, because a lot of them just simply aren't available here on Earth. However, you can activate light languages by coming into contact with energies of those places or of those beings. And what is special about light languages is the fact that they carry absolutely potent energetic signature. And many light languages have therapeutic use and therapeutic effects on humans. So for example, the Arcturians are what we would call the love frequency. They're so full of unconditional love. For us, they almost like gods, but they're just beings and they are beautiful. So when you channel Arcturian, you kind of channel love. In the same way, Pleiadians are made of light. So when you channel Pleiadian, you can use this as very powerful light technology. So the issue there is with light languages is that this technology and this modality is under used, and also in a way it's very mystical, it's mystified, and it doesn't seem to be utilized consciously, and this doesn't seem to be utilized enough, because the issue there is that many people who even speak light language don't know what to do with it or don't know how to use it, and very often they don't know what light language they channel. With me, the exception is that I channel more than one light language, and I know the origin of every single one of them because I activated them in a very, very conscious way. So it wasn't always like that. Let me tell you, it was only the last year that I have reached a level of consciousness where I know how to utilize light language specifically for specific purposes. Because when my first light language activated 15 years ago, that was Arcturian language, I had no clue what it was and how to use it. And I just simply completely underutilized it. I was drawn to it. I love the sounds of it. And I felt a real connection with it. But I had no idea how I can utilize it for myself or for my clients. Those earrings are making a lot of clanking noise. I think I might need to remove it. So anyway, I'm gonna stay with one so it's not clanking now. I'm gonna remove both. Anyway, going back to light languages, I activated Arcturian 15 years ago, and that time was completely dead time for me. I could have done so much good with this language, but I didn't know how to use it. And if I only grasped the power in this language, the power and the energy of Arcturian, I would have done so much better in my personal life, because Arcturian can carry so much powerful sound technology. But unfortunately, I had no clue about that. And if you speak light language already, or if you would like to speak light language already, you're already in a better position, because I'm bringing you this knowledge so you can utilize light language in a much more conscious way to better yourself and life of many people. So my story is that I also speak 11 other light languages. And each single one was activated when I came into contact with energies of the beings that this language belongs to. So I speak Arcturian, Pleiadian, Syrian, Lyran, actually 2 Lyrans, because there's avian Lyran and there's feline Lyran. I also speak Lemurian and Atlantean, which are 2 languages of civilizations that were once here on planet Earth. And I also channel Blue Avian, which is a really, really odd language. It sounds like bird chirps. It doesn't even sound like a language, but funny enough, start speaking to around animals and they will all react and they will be drawn to you. So all these languages activated gradually, and they activated as I got to know specific beings and what their energy is and what their energy can be utilized for. And this is the knowledge that's kind of missing from the spiritual world. And my task is to bring it forward. So people start using light languages a lot more for the good of the planet and for the good of themselves, and with a lot more awareness, because I feel that this is the missing ingredient. As I said, there is a lot of mysticism around it. Someone makes those sounds in some guided meditation. It sounds like, oh my God, this is incredible. But at the same time, not many people take you behind the scenes to explain what actually it is, what it is, and how you can use it. So here I am to do exactly that. So what I would like to tell you first of all is that it is powerful sound technology, and that basically there is many ways that consciousness technology works. And when I'm talking about technology, we think of devices, we think of external technology, whereas consciousness technology is something completely different, because it is technology to improve your everyday life, just like manifesting. That's one of the examples, or law of attraction that you definitely heard of. Same way, there's other ways you can use consciousness technology or energy work to improve your day-to-day and to shift not just your obstacles and blocks that you may encounter in your 3D physical reality, but to actually shift to a new level of awareness, to tap into your spiritual gifts, and to basically build a whole new level of life and of consciousness. So there's codes that can be channeled from different galactic light beings to improve and upgrade every area of your life, be it health, be it finances, be it relationships. They can even be specific codes, specific upgrades. Let's call them upgrades, because codes make it, again, to sound a little bit mystical, but let's talk about upgrades. So you can upgrade yourself and your energy field to reach a new level of abundance, a new level of love, connection, synchronicity, you name it, there is code for everything. And not just that, but they can be custom made and spliced in different settings, and they are powerful. When you receive light technology, consciousness technology, your body reacts very often. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes you feel chill, sometimes you feel nothing at all when it happens, but afterwards you feel something has happened. Sometimes you feel tiredness. But when these codes start working their way in your energy body, oh my goodness, brace yourself, because change is going to happen, and change is going to happen quickly. And what is interesting is that codes are just frequency. And as humans, we kind of underestimate it, because we are so used to form. You know, you need to have something physical. You need to have something tangible. And when you think of codes, you usually think of numbers, some kind of matrix or something like that. Whereas those codes are invisible, but they're powerful. And there's different ways you can transmit them. And when I started working with light beings such as Arcturians and Pleiadians, Syrians, especially Arcturians, they made it clear that consciousness technology can be transferred in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't really matter. You can transfer it through spoken words, you can transfer it in a picture. It is just energy, and you find the form. The most important thing is your intention to give and someone's intention to receive this technology. So light language is a carrier of this technology, and it straight away, it kind of like contains the frequency of those beings, and this is why it's so powerful. This is why sometimes perhaps you have had an experience of some guided meditation with light language inside of it, and you might be really zen and you might be really relaxed and in alpha or theta brainwaves, and then the light language sounds come, and then there's a jolt of energy. This is how much power there is in those frequencies. And when you combine the power with knowledge, how to use specific light languages for specific purposes, you become unstoppable. And this is where my mission as a starseed and as a starseed activator comes into play, because I would like to bring the knowledge of light languages to the mainstream spirituality, at least, because it's still a little bit of fringe. Due to, I think, lack of awareness and lack of it being taught. And you know, with frequencies, they're great for your subconscious mind because they work outside of your conscious brain, and even they work even deeper than just the subconscious. They work on your energy field. And this is maybe because that's why this is so difficult to put into words. But sometimes when our conscious mind starts understanding, it kind of becomes easier to utilize this technology. And this is why I'm explaining it whilst transferring energy to you, because I want you to understand. And once you have understanding, you can utilize it much better. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find things difficult to just take on face value. I need an explanation. And this is exactly why I'm here today. So basically what I already mentioned, the light language is powerful sound technology, and you can encode it with your intention to achieve anything and to shift through obstacles that somehow, sometimes, your conscious mind and your conscious words and all these linear tools would not be able to achieve. So there might be some limitations in your own life that stop you from manifesting the life of your desires, that stop you from going to the next level, which you might try to work on your mindset, you might even hire a coach, yet you're hitting a brick wall, yet it's not happening, it's not shifting. This is where consciousness technology comes into play. When you can't shift it on a mind level, go a level deeper to your energy field, to your subconscious, and then watch the magic happen. Because you can have a lot of food for your conscious mind, a lot of food for your brain. You might even know certain things, but then you don't know how to shift out of them. So my example is abundance. Goodness me, this has been the biggest work in my entire life. I have always tried to achieve it. This is what even sent me to a path of manifestation, spiritual development, and literally it was so difficult. I could not shift into an abundant mindset. And in fact, I even manifested a complete opposite, because I've manifested total financial failure. I had a big business which was turning over multiple six figures, worth 7 figures, and you know what? I've lost it. It's gone insolvent. I've kind of completely lost it due to my own lack of awareness and the fact that I was only using 3D tools, and 3D tools have limitations, where consciousness technology knows no limitations. But do you know what the worst thing is? That I know that I had this consciousness technology available for the last 15 years and I wasn't using it. I completely missed out on the power. I could have recoded my entire energy field for abundance, for flow, for joy, for manifestation. No, I was working with mindset. I was working in the 3D realm and it wasn't shifting. It's only when I started working energetically, I managed to shift out of these obstacles and into new levels of manifestation and into actually living to my soul's higher purpose, where I know I've got access to anything I want because I'm the creator of my own reality. But I didn't know it at the time. I needed to receive a lot of upgrades, a lot of clearances in order to get them. Because you see, consciousness technology can be used in one of two ways. You can upgrade something or you can clear something. And these two separate ways of working can both work simultaneously. It's like working with light and working with shadow. When I mean shadow, it's nothing dark. It's just your own shadows, your own blocks, and your own limitations. So you can use consciousness technology in the form of light language in order to dissolve the blocks. And you can also use it in order to upgrade yourself and your life and life of others, because you can transmit it to yourself, you can transmit it to others. So this is a powerful tool for you. If you're a coach, if you're a Reiki healer, you can literally supercharge what you do with the power of light languages. And this is my news to you. You can do it. Now, you cannot quite determine what light language you're going to unlock. When you activate it, what determines your own light language is your last galactic lifetime. This is the first light language that comes along. But, you know, it really doesn't matter, because this is perfect for you. This is your soul's mission. If you come here as a starseed, and if you can speak a galactic light language, it means 100% you are a starseed, because you've unlocked the ability, unlocked your memory to channel this technology. And you are here on a mission, very specific, very unique to you. In the same way, your home planetary system has equipped you in this technology so you can channel it. And I encourage you to do it and to make the most out of it. As I said, for 15 years without any awareness, or maybe less than 15 years, but for 13 years, I have not used my Arcturian until my soul family reached out for me in a dream and basically said, it's time to activate your mission. My whole 3D life dissolved, everything old literally fell away, but I'm living now in my purpose, in alignment, and in so much joy, and I can use these powerful tools that I've got available to not just create the life of my dreams, but also to make a difference here on planet Earth and to fulfill my mission. So the language that unfolds first, and I speak from experience, I've activated well over 100 people in the light languages. In fact, we've had thousands of people participate in different classes and activations that we've held over the last few months. The first language that unfolds is the language of your last galactic lifetime. And this will be perfect for you. But what you need to know is that maybe you've had more than one galactic lifetime. And maybe you also had more than one lifetime here on planet Earth. And you, as a soul, can claim your full heritage. So don't just limit yourself. Okay, I channel light language, I can speak one. You can probably speak many. The reason I speak 11 at the moment and still keeps growing is slightly different. It's not just the fact that I've got memories of different lifetimes in Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, Lyra, but also because my first incarnation of the soul, my first experience of the soul was in the Akashic records. And I was a keeper of the Akashic records, and those keepers of the Akashic records have to work naturally with many different beings. So imagine like a kind of galactic library of everything, or even universal library, because it goes beyond just our galaxy. If I was working with different beings, fetching different books, fetching different records, keeping different records, I naturally had to speak many languages. So this is where I can tap into probably more than most. And this is where I can help as well, because I can help you recognize your galactic light language, the one that you've got, if you've got one, or I can activate your light language and tell you exactly what light language it is and how you can utilize it. Because you see, different beings specialize in different things. So for example, Arcturians are full of frequency of love. They're just unconditional love. And I am an Arcturian starseed. That was my last soul's memory, and that's why Arcturian activated me first. And they just so powerful. They've got powerful medical technology for inner and outer healing, but they also full of frequency of love. And the consciousness technology literally has so many different codes you can tap into. It's incredible. So you can work with Arcturian light language in order to channel pretty much anything. but it's that frequency of unconditional love. So it's absolutely perfect light language if, for example, someone's got a low self-esteem or needs love as much as other codes and upgrades. On a different kind of side of the spectrum is Andromedan. Andromedan is an elemental light language, because Andromedans, or some of the Andromedans, are elemental beings like elves, and they have specifically given me their language, even though I've never been incarnated on Andromeda. They activated this ability in me so I can heal plants and I can heal animals, and I use it for this purpose. Okay, then the next one is, for example, Pleiadian. Pleiadians are beings of pure light. They're all about light. The whole technology of Pleiades is just light. So they can blast your system with light if you have any darkness, any blocks, any obstacles. And they can also upgrade you with light. They can upgrade your light quotient. And I'll give you an example how Pleiadian technology worked on me personally, which also ties into light language. Well, you see, not every language is language of light. And this is also an awareness I want to spread. Because just as there are beings of light in this galaxy, there's also beings of darkness. And some of them are even walking amongst us here on Earth. Reptilians being a perfect example. And you may be quite surprised when you hear it, but I actually had an incarnation as a reptilian too. And as such, I could speak reptilian language. Well, I wouldn't call it a light language. It's quite an unpleasant language with a really bad energy signature. And I have reconnected with it because I wanted to claim all of my soul's heritage, not just the good bits, but all of them. And I have got the ability to speak this language, but I felt that every time I open my mouth and channel this language, it kind of connects me with a bad energy. And it almost felt like drug. I've never been addicted to any drugs. I haven't even taken many, but I felt like it is like luring, like an addiction. And what I was like, goodness me, I feel this compulsion to speak the language. But every time I do it, I feel like the strings are just being kind of wrapped around me and it doesn't come with a price. So what did I do? I went to my friends, Pleiadians, and I said, look, Pleiadians, can you help me with this? And basically, they channeled powerful light technology, which felt like an energetic jet wash. And you know what? Since then, I haven't spoken reptilian. I haven't even had an urge to do it, but I'm aware of it. And I feel like this awareness came for a reason, because sometimes you see people say that they channel light language and it's not necessarily language of light. And how you can tell by the energy and how it makes you feel. If something on a deep level doesn't resonate, walk the other way. No judgment, just walk the other way. However, it's not always like that, because sometimes there are some languages that evoke very powerful memories in you. So for example, Lemurian light language and Atlantean language are very, very powerful in evoking people's memories, because many souls that incarnated on Earth today are descendants of Lemuria or Atlantis. That's why when I did a few short TikToks on Lemurian and Atlantean light language, they went viral. But not just that, but people had so many powerful experiences, chills, emotions, memories, crying. And sometimes those who have been a part of Lemuria feel really bad about the language of Atlantis and vice versa, because those civilizations were at clash. So there is a difference between maybe upsetting or unpleasant memories or the signature of it being just pure evil, like Reptilian is. So you can tell the origin of light language by the energy signature. When you get accustomed to different light beings, you will be able to tell what these beings are and what the languages are. And you know, with languages is no different than with nations here on Earth and with their languages. So for example, I'm Polish originally, and I can tell Polish language from, let's say, Slavic language, from other Slavic languages like, you know, Russian, Ukrainian, or Czech. Whereas someone who perhaps is from another part of the world might just think, okay, it's Eastern European, and that's it. The differences between words, differences between pronunciation are very, very subtle. Same with, let's say, if you're from Europe, you might not be able to tell differences between, let's say, Korean, Thai, and Vietnamese, whereas someone who's from Asia, for them, it will be easy. So it's very similar with light languages. The differences are very subtle. It's not just sound, though, like with earthly languages that I gave an example of. It's also the energy frequency signature. And this is something that with practice, you can learn to recognize. And when you've got this awareness, when you combine your spiritual ability to channel light language with knowledge on what to use each language for, wow, you will be unstoppable. So not sure if you guys speak a light language. Let me know in the comments if you do. If you don't worry, I can activate it if you have a wish to speak it. And if you want to explore this modality in more detail, I also have a very powerful workshop coming on. And it is an advanced workshop which is aimed mostly at practitioners. So people who want to use light languages in their spiritual practice, both personally, but perhaps even work with clients.